Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your end of November 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here with my new deck, the Moon and Stars Tarot. So, oops, trying to remember how to do this again. Okay. All right. Okay, let me take these cards out. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the Ace of Cups. In this deck, they call it satisfaction. That's kind of strange to me because this is the beginning of something. So I don't quite know if that is a way that I would characterize the Ace of Cups. I would say it's the beginning of love. It can be the offer of love. And I think it's even associated with a child that might be being born. This can be like new creative ideas or projects or urges as well. But it might even be falling in love or being like, if you're single, being ready for it, being ready, open for love. In the past position, we have the Two of Swords, and yes, this, I would agree with that, crossroads. And there might have been some kind of reason, and not to say that this still isn't on the table, that you're still not having to deal with this. Even though this is coming from the past, it still might be in your present reality, because if you have new love, maybe you had to choose between two different relationships, or you're having to choose. And in terms of the elements that might be involved, if the other person is literally an air sign, like a Libra or a Gemini or an Aquarius, and the Ace of Cups individual is more like a water sign, maybe even a fire sign sometimes, but specifically with water, we're talking about a fellow Cancer, a Scorpio, or Pisces. There might be this feeling that, and the air sign, and in some cases Earth can mimic some of these same themes, is that it's dry, it's detached, it's not making you feel like you are loved. And that may or may not be true, because you may be misinterpreting it. You may have your own way of perceiving love, and if it doesn't come in that package, you might assume that it's not there at all, when in fact it is a different type of expression of it, but it is still there. And this person does care. And so it's really a matter of you being able to appreciate this and see it for what it is. And maybe that's something that you're struggling with, that you have a hard time doing at the moment. And if there is someone else who has come into the picture that is more emotionally connected to you, then maybe that is more, that person is more well suited for you. That's a possibility. And same thing applies to a work situation. You may be like, maybe you've been a teacher and you really want to be like a healer, and you feel like you're called to do this, that you're too much in the mind and the intellect, and you really want to get into the heart chakra. The higher message is the World card. This is the last card of the major arcana. They call it completion. So this could be completing a cycle in your life. And if you really can feel that and sense that that's happening, Cancer, then for sure, it will no longer be an agonizing decision. You'll have that clarity to be able to just step into the new reality, whatever that new reality is for you. And it's interesting, the world is like that globe and it's that circle, the cycles of life and understanding what they are. The problem with some people is that they refuse to see that there are cycles, and they just cling to the past, and they never progress. They don't experience much expansion because they're too invested in the status quo. Whatever has come before is what they want to maintain. And, that can lead to a comfortable life, but it can almost be like a comfortable tomb where you are kind of trapped in this very comfortable space that's very tight and doesn't allow for you to expand, What crosses you is the Nine of Pentacles and the challenge, so I'm reading this as a challenge card. And, there might be some kind of financial reasons. Maybe you are not self-supporting. You're not able to support yourself. So let's say you have fallen in love with someone and you're married and you would like to leave that marriage, but you don't have the financial wherewithal to support yourself. That may make you feel like you have to be in this marriage or this, whatever this committed partnership is. That might be the case temporarily, but don't use that as an excuse to just kind of not do what you feel called to do. Rather than just say, well, I can't do it, I guess it's not meant to be. Question if you are keeping yourself in this dependency in order to have an excuse not to seek your independence in general from this relationship. The other thing too is you might be overstating things. Maybe your ideas are rooted in a lifestyle that you don't have to participate in, that you could really pare down, and that you could do it if you wanted to. You just might not be able to live at the level you're living now, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you might be overvaluing material comfort and undervaluing your emotional satisfaction, as indicated by the Ace of Cups. What is coming in? Oh my God, some of these cards, what they come up with, I don't know about. They say fear. I have never read the Nine of Wands being connected with fear, I have to tell you. What I have seen with the Nine of Wands is actually setting boundaries. Wands are related to fire energy. So how can fire be about fear? Fire is actually about courage. Fire is about independence. And that's where the boundaries come in. It's like, you don't get to dictate to me what I do. I'm going to just very briefly go into my book here and see what they say about the Nine of Wands, since they're calling it fear. I'm just going to read exactly what they say. Challenges imagination preservation, meaning fear. This card sees you protecting yourself from situations either real or imagined. Alternatively, there may be an ongoing battle that is coming to an end. You are afraid of being hurt, but make sure that this is a rational fear. Protect yourself when needed, but accept care from others. Within work, you may find opposition. Be prepared to stand your ground rather than apologize. See, I see it stand your ground as more of the Seven of Wands. Within relationships, tensions may rise with the reappearance of an ex-partner. Now, that might be the crossroads or the duality of the Two of Swords. I will give them that. But I've never heard about this being an ex-partner. Think logically and show respect. Moon message. I don't know why I haven't really read these. See things for what they are and trust your intuition. I don't know. I would say that this card, from everything that I have read from other decks and things like that, the Nine of Wands is really about being on high alert, because it is true. Somebody may come back into your reality, and that's, to me, I feel like that already has happened with some of you with the Two of Swords, that someone has come back and you have to decide. And if that person was the one to leave, be very careful, because that to me is narcissistic behavior of like coming and of leaving, abandoning the person, and then when they get their life together, then they come back. You have 2 9s here. The 9 is a number of, this is what the light worker is. If you have a 9 life path, it's all about the person who is a helper of others. And, the humanitarian. And, that's what I see with the Ace of Cups, is you wanting to serve the humanity. And this is because you're a water sign and you're an empath, Cancer. But you can't allow that natural sympathy to be used against you by somebody who is just looking for power. Whether it's a former employer, whether it's a current employer, or a partner, you have to be able to see things as they really are. And it's funny because I had kind of touched upon that, and I knew that I had this as the outcome card. It says understanding, but it did mention something about the clarity of thought. Ace of Swords is about being able to cut through some of the deception that might be going on, the confusion, and the confusion may be coming from within. Even the deception can be self-deception, denial, and things like that, and seeing things as they really are. And sometimes that can be crushing because we have lied to ourselves, or we did perceive things in a distorted way, and now we see that it wasn't what we thought. And maybe if somebody comes back and initially you feel this sense of they really do care, and then they start playing their games again, and you realize they're just doing this for their own gratification. They're not doing this for me. And it can be a crushing realization, because you may still have feelings for that person. Likewise, you may have an infatuation. Well, I don't think of the Ace of Cups as just like some infatuation, but you may have feelings for someone and realize that they're not necessarily shared by that person. I do feel that with the Ace of Cups, something is generated there because it's like a catalyst. So perhaps it's that you realize that you don't want to leave your current partner for other reasons. Maybe you feel a sense of obligation. Maybe you feel you can't, maybe you have children. There might be other reasons, but the Ace of Swords allows you to make your decision, which a Two of Swords is talking about, with clarity, not with kind of wishful thinking and all of that. So that can lead to the best possible outcome. Okay, that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope that this resonated. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.